This is Gig Talk for Tuesday, December 1st, 2020, and I'm your host, Dino Danger. You know what I want to talk about tonight? I want to talk about the worst road trip you've ever had. As a musician, you're going to run into, or you've already run into, depending on your level of experience, I suppose, situations that most, normal people, I guess you'd call them at this point, would never understand that what can be involved in a lifestyle. Anyway, I had a set of circumstances, and ironically, it was my very first gig on the road. I ended up scoring a gig with what ended up being my first father-in-law. It was my girlfriend in high school's father. So I'm 2 weeks out of high school, and I find myself going on the road with a Vegas show band, and I've got to hook up with them in Beaumont, Texas. And I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this is in June, middle of June, very hot. Got to drive through the Midwest. And my girlfriend, who ended up being my future wife at that point, and I were driving her 4-cylinder Chevy Vega. We're going to drive it from Minneapolis to Beaumont to hook up with her dad's band that I was joining. And not only that, but we had to pull a 4x6 U-Haul trailer behind this 4-cylinder car. Well, we got to somewhere in Missouri or Iowa, I don't remember, but it was hotter than fuck, and it was the middle of the day, and the car is overheating, and of course we have no air running. We got the windows open. I've even turned on the heater so that hoping that it'll take some of the heat off the engine and stuff, because the needle's just going further and further. It's getting to the point where it's almost buried. Finally, we are at the point where it is buried. I have to pull off on the side of the road. There's smoke coming out of the hood. What are you going to do? Pull up on the side of the road. Just going to sit there for a minute, let it cool down. My girlfriend, future wife, and I sit there and smoke a cigarette. Just talk about this fucked up situation, what we're going to do about it. So after we've been sitting there about, 10, 15 minutes, I decide, okay, car's probably cooled down enough. Let me go check it out. Now remember, because it's so hot that, all I've got on is a pair of shorts. I've got no shoes, no socks, nothing, no shirt. And as soon as I step out onto the concrete, I'm off on the side of the road, and the tar is so hot that it's burning the bottoms of my feet. So I kind of hop around to the front of the car, which at least has provided its own shade for a little bit, so it's probably about 10 degrees cooler. I managed to get the hood of the car open, and now I take the T-shirt that I did have on, and I put it on the radiator cap, and I give it just a little twist, thinking, it's probably cooled down by now. And as I pull that thing off, I just did it a little too hard or too much, and it blows off, and it sprays me with hot, scalding water. Ouch. This was not a good thing. We're broke down in the middle of nowhere. Literally in the middle of nowhere. It's like off on the side of some cornfield or something. Now my feet are burned, and I get out there, and the car has just scalded me. And I come back around to the side, by the driver's side, to tell my girlfriend what happened and what's going on. And the cigarette that she had just finished and flicked out my window, unbeknownst to me, was right underneath my foot. So I'm getting a hot foot from her lit cigarette, but my feet are already so hot, it takes a while to realize it until it's actually burning a blister into my foot. And I got a hot foot. So now I'm jumping up and down, and I'm just fuming. I just couldn't be any madder or more upset. I don't know. I was just incensed. I didn't know what I could do to make it worse. And as I got in the car and I grabbed the door and pulled it shut, I closed my fingers into the door frame of the window. My fingers were literally closed in the door. And it wasn't just the window, it was a door frame with a window in it. So it closed my fingers in it. And of course I reached down and immediately pushed the door open. And I just sat there, and all I could do was just take deep breaths and look down, and my girlfriend just said nothing. She just didn't want to say a word. She was as upset as I was. Well, of course, after spending a couple of days waiting for parts there in Missouri, we finally did actually turn up in Beaumont, Texas in time to do the gig. And considering that was my very first road gig right out of high school, maybe somebody was trying to tell me something. I don't know. But, being who I am, obviously I didn't listen. And the rest is history. And that's the rest of the story. If you have such a story or something else funny you want to tell, go ahead, make a comment about it. Write it down. Better yet, give me a call. If you live in Central Florida, come and see me on the show. Let's talk. I need some guests so we can do a little banter here back and forth. Got anything to talk about that had to do with gigs? Funny stories? Terrible stories? The best stories you could think of. Good things about club owners, bad things about club owners. Let's get some club owners on to give their side of the situation. Talk to me. Talk to you soon. Bye.